Hello, one and all. This is a bit of a rough setup tonight, so I hope you will forgive me. I also realized I just forgot a small part. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, one moment. Here we are. Hello. I am literally using a phone flashlight just to like make the lighting not awful. You can see. Look at the shadow. Look at the shadow. Anyway, hello everyone, welcome in. So good to see you all tonight. Welcome Teresa, it's so good to see you. It's been a little bit, but yeah, I've been thinking about you. How have you been? Yeah, I was thinking about you, I want to say just earlier today or yesterday. But yeah, hope you've been well, hope you've been having a good time, whatever it is you've been doing. And Noctis, of course, as always, good to see you. First in the potato party, congratulations. I've been working on some new stuff for stream. If you check in your channel points wherever they happen to be down below, you will see that there is a what did I call it? I don't think it's a daily check-in. It's a daily status report. So if you guys want to type a little bit of a brief essay or a sentence or two about how you're doing, I would love to hear about it and see how your day, week, month, life has been going and things like that. Too hot in the UK at the moment. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, I'm well south of the UK and actually a lot further west as it happens. But yeah, I'm feeling that. It's actually supposed to be hotter tomorrow, but I forgot to roll the windows down in my car or like crack the windows open in my car, and I got back after 9 hours today and I was feeling it. I was feeling it on the way home. I just set my phone down on the car seat next to me, and I actually had to go to Walmart before coming back to the hotel, which is where I am right now. And I picked up my phone and it said, it's overheating. And I'm like, that's insane. I've been running the AC now for 10 minutes or so, however long it takes to get to Walmart. The AC was running the whole time, but it was that hot in the car to begin with. So it was absolutely insane. So yeah, I'm out of town right now, as you probably gathered, with the hotel business. So figured I'd do a little bit of a just chatting stream. So far we've not dropped any frames, which is a little bit of a record. I did drop our video bit rate, so I don't know exactly how we're doing, how we're looking with all of that, but wanted to talk a little bit about the Switch 2. I've seen a lot of people who have it so far. I know there's a lot of people out there who don't have it. And so just kind of, curious, wanted to test the waters, see what people think, and if there were any opinions, any hot takes out there that people had. If there was, something that you wanted to say, we can kind of talk about it. So, Angel, welcome in. It's so good to see you as well. Appreciate you being here, my friend. And yeah. We're in the same boat, I know. I know Noctis has the Switch 2 and got it for the birthday, so surprised hotel Wi-Fi lets you stream. Yeah, I turned all my settings way down. We're only outputting 720p right now. We're outputting 720p. 1200 kilobytes per second is our output. I am trying to keep it as minimal as possible, and we're only using 1.6% of the CPU, which is good. So as long as we're communicating here, as long as we can keep things going, I think we're going to be just fine. Really enjoying Mario Kart World. Oh my gosh. Do you have any favorite courses or characters so far? Because I know there's been a lot of new additions. Cow, not the least of which is Cow. Of course, everyone was loving Cow. I've already seen the 24 Cow races on Moo Moo Meadows and everything like that. You gotta love it. You can't go wrong with Cowception, if you will. So welcome in, iBlue Wave. It's good to see you. Cow Penguin is another one. I've also been seeing they have the crab. What's the crab called in Mario? I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure every time I see it, it's driving with its like little crab claws in the air, and I'm like, how are you driving? Aren't you supposed to like grab it with your claws? Oh, the steering wheel, of course. So curious. I don't know how that works, but of course there's also Goomba. So we can't go wrong with Goomba. there's a new character that would be maybe my second main. Of course, I'm always going to go with Toadette. She's my girl. She's been my girl since Mario Kart Double Dash. I can't go back. But if I had a second, it would probably be Goomba, at least for one of the new characters. Goomba doesn't really have any arms either, so yeah, there's hacks you can do to improve the battery. I assume you mean like the life hack sort of things, not the actual like hacking your Switch. Like that DK one. Yeah. Oh, interesting. That is an actual hack. Is that true? Because I've heard people are kind of maybe getting in trouble with that sort of thing, and you know, we don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to have my Switch 2 shut down whenever I do get it. So, don't mean to, okay. So you can make DK look like original DK. Is that a costume then? Yeah. Okay. So sad. No link. No link. What do you mean by no link, Angel? No. Oh no. Yeah, no link in Mario Kart World. Yeah. I'm just like, no link. Link to what? Yeah. Do not hack the Switch 2. That is what I'm getting. I heard, actually, I was listening to another stream earlier today, and he was talking about how there was a guy who came out. It's like, oh, Nintendo's shut down my Nintendo Switch 2 for no reason, and I'm out here just, you know, trying to play my games, and Nintendo just shut me down. And it turns out he came out later. Yeah, I hacked my Switch 2. So yeah, that's what you get. I'm gonna move my light. I think I have a weird nose shadow thing. I don't know if this is actually any better, but now I kind of can't see the chat that well. Yeah. You can do stuff to make the battery better. In the long run, after a lot of charge cycles, it's not going to be good. Yeah, that's the really unfortunate thing. I will probably be getting mine in like December. I don't think I'll get it for Christmas, but I'm going to be asking for a bunch of like Best Buy gift cards just so I can afford it. I'm also, I've decided that our sub money, or I suppose bits money, any of our Twitch money, that's going to be going to Switch 2. That's going to be our Switch 2 fund. So we got a $60 payout not that long ago. That's my Switch 2 fund so far. And it's pretty much going to come down to the end of the year, whatever we have from Twitch, that's our fund, plus gift cards, gift certificates. I actually have the Best Buy gift card, which gives me gift certificates. And I happen to travel a lot. It gives me like 3% back from gas. So it's good stuff. Scroll on the chat here a little bit. Not gotten many characters. Yeah, so how do you go about unlocking the characters? I'm curious about that. And if there's also anything anyone wants to say about the Switch 2 in general, or of course about Donkey Kong, since we had that direct yesterday, which I thought was awesome. I thought was really, really cool. I'd love to hear your thoughts about that as well. They did on the original. Yeah, they had the same issue. They just put a better battery on the second batch. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping they do that by November, basically, so I can get a good one in December. My sis did not get a Switch 2 either. She's been looking for it everywhere. Oh, so you're in the situation where you actually can't find it. See, I actually went to Walmart twice today, and I thought about checking the shelves just to see if they had it, and I never did it. The first time, though, it was about 7:30. I had to go get a toothbrush. I had to go to Walmart this morning to get a toothbrush, because 10 p.m. last night, I pulled it out of my travel bag, and it looked brown. So I'm like, okay, guess I'm not brushing my teeth tonight. So I chucked that, went to bed, and got up early this morning, and yeah, went to Walmart, got a new one, and brushed my teeth in the parking lot before going to work, which is not something I've done before, but I'm glad I did it, basically. So brush your teeth. It's good for your hygiene. Whatever it takes. You have to go buy a toothbrush because you forgot it or something. Worked with a guy who had a hacked Switch 1 and his account was banned. Yeah, no surprise, logged into Switch 2 with the same account, and they let him onto the Switch 2. Okay, well, I think, you know, there's a due amount of grace there, and I hope that he uses that grace well, because obviously Nintendo didn't have to allow him to play on that account at all. So, fingers crossed for him. And I would say use this opportunity very wisely and don't try any shenanigans. So, Switch 1, PS5. Okay, I have to like click off of the chat to be able to actually. PS5 had 5 different models with power enhancements. I had no idea about that, but I've not been keeping up with PlayStation at all. Collecting coins. Collecting coins like in previous Mario Kart games. Oh, that's how you unlock characters. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I think that was just Mario Kart 7 and 8 that did that. I think before it was do the Grand Prix Cups, and then you unlock characters and unlock courses, of course, beyond that. I always had a good time doing that. In Double Dash especially, it felt like I had a never-ending stream of new characters, new carts, and things like that in Double Dash. But I was a kid. That's kind of nostalgia talking. Because for the most part, I was just playing the game. I had no idea what was in store for me. And so I played the game. I would play a good Grand Prix, do really well in the Special Cup, and they were like, congratulations, you got a new cart. And I'm like, whoa, that's cool. I still to this day don't know if I've 100%ed the game, but I Blue Wave, you're going to get DK Bonanza. Yeah, Bonanza looks fantastic. And this is crazy. So none of us expected a new Donkey Kong game, right? Not one of us. I don't think anyway. We expected when we started that trailer for the first time, it's like, oh, is this Mario Odyssey 2 or just like another Mario game? Like, this is fantastic. I'm excited. I am excited for Mario on the Switch 2. Let's be honest. I think we all are. Mario games, 3D Mario games are fantastic and have been fantastic increasingly over the last several years. So definitely looking forward to what they can do with the Switch 2 on that. But then DK comes out of nowhere and he looks all, stylized and cartoonish. Very different from what he's looked like in previous games. And it just looks like a fun, not puzzle platformer, collectathon platformer type thing. And turns out that's exactly what it is. It just looks like a little bit of a romp, So I'm looking forward to that one. Young Paulina was unexpected. Were there any other things that were unexpected for you guys with DK Bonanza? Or I suppose, with Mario Kart World as well. Now that we're a couple weeks into that one, we can definitely have some... Oh, here's what took me off guard. But yeah, with the Direct, I was honestly kind of a little ho-hum about Bonanza, even though it was a bit of a surprise and it did look good. Now I'm like rethinking my entire position on that game because it just looks like a well-made game, a well thought through game. They have really interesting world building. They have new characters, new designs, and just a whole new world design. So I'm really, really excited for that. So go check chat here again. They do that, I'm going to save money and buy a Switch 2 edition for Splatoon collab, if not Zelda. Yeah, something like that. I am definitely looking forward to what they do with Splatoon. What was the new game that they announced for Splatoon? I can't remember exactly what it was, but I was actually surprised they went with the Splatoon 3 characters again. I was hoping they would go back to like Callie and Marie or something like that, because if I recall correctly, the Splatoon 3 characters were villains, or seemed to be villains at least. So that was interesting. So getting that Sonic racing game, the one that dissed Mario Kart, I don't think I'm gonna get that one. I've never been a huge Sonic fan, but now that I'm gonna be having a little boy in September or October. It's pretty much on the border right there. We don't know. I keep looking at Sonic things and I'm like, man, I want my little boy to have like cool Sonic stuff, I don't know. I saw a Sonic plush the other day and I'm like, I want him to have that. Like, Sonic is just cool. It radiates like little boy energy, and I'm just kind of like, I've never liked Sonic, but for some reason it's just like, this seems perfect. But yeah, getting the game, that's kind of a different story. I don't know about that, but yeah. Sega and Nintendo have always kind of gone back and forth a little bit, and they're on friendly terms, and so I don't think that's a good reason for me not to buy it. But the fact that I've never actually played Sonic that much kind of plays into that decision a little bit more. Actually, when I first got my GameCube, I think I had 2 or 3 Sonic games that I got, but I also got Lego Star Wars. I pretty much only ever played Lego Star Wars and Mario Kart, and I guess Super Mario Sunshine on the GameCube. So yeah, it was not able to compete with the other stuff that I had. Saw some Donkey Kong Country spots in the game, so they did a small shout out. Yeah, and obviously in Mario Kart World they did the redesigned Donkey Kong model as well, which was nice. It would be a little weird, I think, to have 2 games so close together with the same character being very, very differently designed. So yeah, it was nice. Again, small shout out to Bonanza. Before we even knew about Bonanza, actually, because they started that direct with Mario Kart World. And we had already seen a little bit of it, and we had seen, oh, they're going with the movie design for DK, which is interesting and was a little bit controversial, but I think it expresses his character a little bit more. And I think what we're getting in Bonanza is just like so cool when it comes to DK being an expressive character. Because that's what most of the Nintendo characters, or Mario characters I should say, have been in the past. And I'm glad that Donkey Kong can actually, he can just be like a happy guy now and not have this like angry face about him all the time, which is kind of how his model looked in the past. So only reason I'm getting it is because the characters they have, and I think they said you can play with crossplay. Yes, I did see the crossplay. What did you guys think of the crossplay with the Nintendo Switch 1? That was actually really interesting. And I was surprised too, because I don't know. People definitely are, I think, too quick to accuse Nintendo and any business really of just being like really cash grabby and wanting to do whatever they can do for profit. But I think that maybe says a little bit different. You know, obviously it's local multiplayer only, so you can't just like play Donkey Kong Bonanza with someone online on your Switch 1. That, you know, that would be fantastic if you could, but I think that it's fine if you wanted to play with, you know, your little cousin who doesn't have a Switch 2 yet and they wanted to play with you. They can actually participate instead of just holding a controller and, you know, why is there only one character on the screen type of thing. Like someone did that to all of us, I'm sure, growing up. I remember being in that position. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting, and honestly like a little bit generous on the part of Nintendo of like, hey, are you undecided about Switch 2? Are you undecided about maybe this game? Well, here, you can download play this and give it a shot before you even buy one of these consoles, which I think is really nice. You know, obviously we can't say that there are necessarily any particular motives behind that, but I think that's a really nice little I don't know, they threw us a bone with that one, I guess, for lack of a better term. So still waiting for Nintendo Store to email me so I can buy another Switch 2. Interesting. How does that work? I'm curious. Are they restricting people from buying more than one? Because that does make sense. And I do like that. They do have like some sort of scalper protection, it seems like, at least in terms of buying from the website. I think you actually had to apply to pre-order from Nintendo themselves. So that's good. We don't want people scalping. We don't want people taking everything and then reselling for $100, $200, $300 more just so they can turn a big profit and, you know, hoard all of the products. So yeah, just double check. PS5, Xbox, Switch, and Steam can play with each other. Which which game is that, Noctis? I'm curious. Is that one game or several? Because I don't. Obviously, that's not like Mario Kart or anything like that. Remember Mario Kart split screen? I still do that. Okay, I have a wife who has 3 brothers around the same age. We play Mario Kart all the time, like literally all the time. That is, oh, what do you want to do for your birthday? Like, I want to play Mario Kart with my siblings and with my sister's husband, that kind of thing. Usually is what ends up happening, and it's usually pretty chaotic and fun. And the youngest accuses us all of like being racist or something like that because he plays as one of the Inklings, and it's like, stop it, you're not, like, no, you can't say that. I don't know, he's a goofball, he's a weirdo, but it's chaotic nonetheless. So Nintendo Store has its own website. Yeah, you got yours from GameStop, and you didn't have the screen stapled, right? Because I saw that was a thing that happened at some stores, and I'm like, that's really painful. That's really painful for GameStop. Like, that's when you don't want to have the GameStop stock, because they probably had to replace a bunch of consoles there, which is not fun. But yeah, Mario Kart split screen is that's not as much of a pastime as you might think, for me anyway. Fun. I think you can only buy one, then they ban you for a month to be able to buy again. Gotcha. I did not know that. And that's kind of fair, but also the scalpers aren't using the consoles. Unless that is, I guess, of course, buying from a Nintendo store, which makes sense. So. Oh, gotcha. So it's a cross-play game, Sonic. That makes sense because, yeah, one of my brothers-in-law is a big Sonic fan still, and he had, actually, I think he's gotten pretty much all of the Sonic games that are on the PS5, and they look really good because PS5, actually, I want to say actually they only have a PS4. I can't say that for sure, but I know he played Frontiers and it looked phenomenal. So definitely support Sonic. Definitely love Sonic as much as I can, having basically never played it. And who knows if I ever will become like a Sonic game fan. I like it because of what it is. It's a little bit of a cultural phenomenon, and I like that. We actually did at one point go to the Sonic Symphony, and that was a lot of fun as well. So 24 players Mario Kart. I do like that. I'm looking forward to that. That seems chaotic. I don't know what to do about it. I have been playing a little bit of Mario Kart 8, which I am affectionately calling, in accordance with my wife's own words, Poverty Kart. Yeah, if you guys are in the Discord, you've already seen that. So yeah, that's been fun. Interestingly, we realized 50cc is actually like really difficult if you do hard comms, because you can't generate the kind of space that you can when you like make a getaway in 150cc, for example. That was just something we discovered last night. Like, oh, I can do Poverty Kart and have like limited items and 50cc because we couldn't afford to upgrade our carts and stuff like that. Just like little fun custom versus races, and it turns out that 50cc with hard comms is actually really difficult. So, my chat just got really small because we have an incoming ad break. So sorry about that. Having to scroll a little bit here. I know we're box collectors. Yeah, I'm a physical media type of person, and honestly, the upcharge for the physical media is hurting me a little bit. There are some games that I'm going to play a lot of that I would want digital, and I think Mario Kart is actually one of them. But when it comes to others, most Zelda games, I typically try and get a physical. I think DK Bonanza is one that I would probably want a physical of. Metroid Prime 4, that looks fantastic. Probably want a physical copy of that one. Yeah, I think there are very few games that I actually want digital copies of. Generally speaking, I'm a physical you know, not the game cartridges necessarily, but the cases, just having them on my shelf and lined up and stuff is just, I don't know, it's cool. It's nice to have, nice to show off a little bit, you know. So that's gonna hurt me a little bit because I don't know exactly what I want to do. If they have that upcharge, I may just end up getting the digital, which is gonna hurt my collector's soul. But yeah, so only happened in New York. Whoops, hello. I just moved my entire laptop. There we go. What happened in New York? Was there like scalping or something? Or was that the limited purchases? PlayStation graphics will always be good compared to other consoles. Yeah, I mean, that is, if that, as long as that's their goal, I think that's going to be the case. I don't keep up very well with PlayStation and Xbox. I think PlayStation has been one of the better ones though too, in terms of first party, like even just single player games. They have the rights. Obviously, Sony has the rights to Spider-Man, and so that's like an example of one game that I would absolutely love to play on PlayStation 5. But again, the price is a little hefty for me to just play like Spider-Man, unfortunately, because I would love that, but it's absolutely not in the cards for me. If other members of the family end up getting a PlayStation 5, I kind of wonder if they would let us pay a small fee for the PlayStation 4, because there's a lot of games on PlayStation 4 that I would love to play as well. I'm just going to be behind 2 generations now, so yeah. Want to get... Sorry, I have to like click off of these chats when I'm scrolling, so oops. No. Unpin this message. I did not mean to pin that, I'm sorry. Want to get SF6. SF6. What is SF6? I can't think offhand. Yeah, the only 6 that I can think of is actually Elder Scrolls 6 and GTA 6. I can't think of anything else right now, so you'll have to give me a little help with that. Switch to cart along with Cyberpunk, definitely. Yeah, that's a cool one. Also, I mean, some of those games are just really, really hefty anyway, which is no longer a factor, unfortunately, because the cart is apparently just a download card, which dumb. But Street Fighter 6, there you go. Okay, we're on an ad break. If you guys don't have that yet, we can go ahead and take a brief pause. I'm actually going to go grab some water real quick. If you guys can still hear me, I will be right back for our ad friends so that we don't miss anything in the conversation, of course. So I will be right back. It's literally right over here. I'm not even going to bother to go to a BRB. So I could probably just keep talking. A little sad though, because it's still warm. Also, music. Turn it up. I got a squeaky chair. Squeak, 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 squeak. Squeak, 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 squeak. Anyway, that's a little treat for those of you who are subscribed. That's the kind of premium subscriber-only content that we do over here. All right, welcome back, ad break people. Hope that wasn't too bad. I did go ahead and grab some water and just kind of pause the conversation so you guys didn't miss anything too important except me vibing to this cool music. We're listening to some Game Chops right now. They did a... it's not recent anymore, actually. It's probably 6 months old. Hyrule Cafe 2. Really good, but yeah. You just shout from across the room. It's true. I can shout from across. This is a very small room, and you would probably be able to hear me. So, I have Diablo 4 on the PS5, Romancing Saga, and 2 games. I think you have 5 physical games for it. Switch them up beyond 50 physical games. Man, you're like a true gamer or something. I'm a little more picky. I mean, I've got a wife and a kid on the way, obviously, I was saying earlier. We have to be a little more picky. If we are not going to play a lot of a game and enjoy the heck out of it, then we're probably not gonna, excuse me, goodness, start drinking water and I get gas going. I don't think I have 50 physical games for the Switch. I definitely have a lot of kind of more indie style games, which is one thing I really like about the Switch. I think it's a good platform for indie games. But yeah, that's a lot. Again, some of them I'm gonna download just because I'm gonna end up playing a lot of them. I know Pokemon, I did that with Animal Crossing, because I'm like, I'm gonna play the heck out of these games. There's no way I'm gonna want to switch out a physical cartridge every time I boot this game up, because it's gonna happen so often. And turns out that was the case. I played almost 800 hours of Pokemon Sword. I played 1,500 hours, almost 1,600 now, of Animal Crossing. Still playing to this day. Now, I did boot up yesterday for the first time in like 6 months, but yeah. Most of the games are still in the packaging. Oh my gosh. So you are a true collector then. That is a whole different animal. That is an awesome collection. That's going to be worth a small fortune in the future, because, I mean, just like people look back fondly on like the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo 64 days, I think people are going to look back fondly on the Nintendo Switch days. Now, unfortunately, I think with modern technology, it just doesn't last as well, and we're not going to have like a working Nintendo Switch. Or we can say that the Nintendo Switches that exist are much less likely to persist, 20 or 30 years from now, which really unfortunate, because I think this is it's been a really good run for the Nintendo Switch. There's been so many good games for it, and it's such a good and unique platform for, kind of like I said, just a lot of indie games, which is kind of what the market is slowly but surely becoming. As the AAA games become more and more expensive, the indie games are kind of becoming a little bit more niche, and I really like that. They're a little more artsy, and people kind of appreciate that more. And I think there's a growing appreciation for that kind of stuff as well. So I really do love to see that. So I think I own more games on PlayStation due to the better graphics. 12 games on Xbox. They had the exclusive cheap. 30 games on Switch because of the exclusives and the portable games. Yeah. And I kind of agree with that assessment as well. Like, I originally got Stardew Valley, for example, on Steam, and then it was on sale, and I had some points saved up on the Switch, and I'm just like, this is such a better platform for this, because I can just lay back on the couch and play on my Switch, build my farm up and stuff like that. It's just not the kind of thing I really want to play on a PC. And that's kind of my own duality. Of course, I'm a PC or Switch person. That's kind of the space that I exist in. And a lot of the games that I'm playing really don't have a lot of graphical fidelity to them initially anyway, so it makes sense for me to be a Switch player, I suppose. So I had to count the PlayStation ones. I have 88. Oh my gosh, that's quite the collection though. That's really cool. Skipped PS4. Had the PS3, but only got a few games for it. At that time, I played more PC. Yeah, I was during the PS3 age. I mean, I was a Wii kid for sure. I say kid, but gosh, I was almost a senior in high school, I think, when the Wii U came out. So yeah, I mean, I was a Wii kid, but then I grew up throughout the age of the Wii, I suppose, being in middle school and high school during that time. So lots of good games on the Wii too. And I think unfortunately that's another situation where the Wii is not going to physically last, 15, 20, 30 years from now either, which, man, that's probably an even bigger boom than Nintendo Switch, but that's hard to say, really. Tend to look for pixel types and Metroidvanians. Yeah, no, those high-skill platformers and stuff like that, those are really fun, and I wish I could get into them a little bit more. We are playing Hollow Knight occasionally. So what we do, and you can participate in this iBlueWave too. I don't know. I think you're in the Discord. Am I right? Since you're a VIP, you do have the right to vote in our VIP chat. So you should be able to jump in that chat and click that link and vote because on Saturdays we do a variety stream where our subs and VIPs get to vote on what we play. We play 2 games every Saturday and they get to vote. But kind of as I was saying, Hollow Knight is one of those games. I think actually it may have just gotten taken off. I need to double check that. I'm pretty sure it's still on there, but I know we put a couple on the chopping block for June because we kind of reassess our situation every month and have some nominations for what people want to see. So it's a little bit of a loosey-goosey system, if you will. But yeah, I had fun with Hollow Knight. It's difficult because I don't play that kind of game. Maybe I would be able to get into like Metroid Dread a little bit more because I really appreciate what they've done with Metroid in the past, but I just don't know. I appreciate Hollow Knight too for like the art style and just the sheer beauty of the game itself. So yeah, if you have a strong PC, you don't need a PlayStation. That's true. I don't know if my PC is quite up to the standard of a PlayStation, but yeah, if you don't care about graphics, anything else is better. Xbox or Switch or PC. Yeah. I am not that into graphics. If I am doing high fidelity graphics, it's probably just because Minecraft and the mods and visuals that I tend to go for are they're very graphics intensive, which is unfortunate because Minecraft is such a popular game that I'm so surprised that they've not optimized it a little bit better, at least for the Java edition. Now for Bedrock Edition, which is kind of going to be the everyman's version of Minecraft, that's going to be on the Nintendo Switch. Actually, it probably already is, since the Switch 1 had it. But they've got Bedrock Edition probably already on the Switch 2, and that's what the kids are going to go for usually, and that's going to be the audience, generally speaking. So I play Java Edition. I learned Java Edition. I can't play Bedrock Edition. I'm really bad at it. So still have my NES and about 70 plus games. Dude, waiting for that new Metroid. I'm really intrigued by the new Metroid. What are you guys excited for about the new Metroid? Are you going to get that one? Are you going to get it on the Switch 2? Or are you going to go for the Switch 1 edition? So I guess those of you who have the Switch 1, are you going to get the Switch 1 edition, or are you going to wait until you get your Switch 2 in order to get the new Metroid Prime 4? I think the little kind of magic system that they have is really intriguing. They've got some interesting kind of good guy, mysterious aliens that are maybe a little bit esoteric. Are they good guys? Don't know. We don't know, and I'm excited to kind of find out about it. I think what they've done with it is really intriguing. A lot of the Metroid Prime that I've seen in the past is kind of, just dark, kind of gritty sci-fi. I think they're bringing this to kind of almost another, it feels like it's on another plane of existence, almost. There's a little bit of brightness that's not just levity, because there's still a weight to what it feels like the narrative is holding for us. And so I'm very excited to experience that game as well. Again, eventually. So You got 4080S, you can get better than a PS5. I can't remember what I have offhand. I'll have to check. I can look on Best Buy. I saved everything. I bought everything on Best Buy because, like I mentioned earlier, I've got the credit card. I get the gift certificates, and so I get things at a discount. I wait for things to go on sale, and then I nab them up really fast. Might grab some more RAM at some point. I don't know. Doing that, obviously. The RAM always goes on sale, though, so I'm not really about if that's going to happen or not. But yeah, I can't remember again, but I can check because I have all of my components saved. I should probably list those out on my Twitch bio or profile somewhere, because people like that kind of stuff. And you know, when people are going in for a build of a PC for the first time, they're like, what do you even do? And I'm just a nerd personally. I like to put things together and see how they work and just kind of figure it out. But yeah, this was a really good opportunity, and it was kind of recommended to me. Oh, it's actually not that hard as long as you have a basic idea of what the components individually do, and you know, then you just kind of read the instruction booklet really and put the pieces where they belong. It's really that easy. So yeah, no, that's something I think I recommend doing as well. If you want to increase your technical knowledge of how computers work. I Blue Wave, you're gonna go in blind for Metroid Prime 4. I really want to do that as well. I don't know if I'm gonna have that opportunity. I may just end up doing that on the original Switch myself. I think that's probably the direction I'm leaning. If I get it very soon, I'm not 100% sure. Like expensive Legos. It is like expensive Legos, except Legos are already expensive, and so it's just like even more expensive. Oh yeah, I mean, gaming it's just becoming such an expensive hobby, which that's the real crushing thing about kind of just the reality of what we're seeing with the Switch 2 right now, because we see that $450 price tag on the Nintendo Switch 2, and we're like, oh my gosh, how can I don't know if I can afford that. I don't know if the Nintendo games are worth that. And when it comes to like third-party games, again, you know, if you play PS5 Pro, I guess probably not. A lot of people are going for that, again, based on the price tag. Then, yeah, it's kind of, dang, is this even worth it? So, Lego will not be $2,000 for one part. I don't know. I feel like there probably are some Lego sets that are maybe that expensive, unless you're a down bad collector. Exactly. Yeah, that's. I think there probably are. I think I saw today that there was like an 8,000 piece, like Imperial Star Destroyer set for Legos. That was interesting. Like, that's probably going to be really expensive. I did not see the price on it, but that's like the real, like, the big time collectors go for the serious stuff. And since I'm a huge Star Wars fan, like, if I had money and could do anything I wanted with it, I would definitely be a Lego Star Wars guy, because honestly, that was one of the first video games that grabbed me. It was Mario Kart Double Dash and Lego Star Wars. That's what I wanted to play on GameCube more than anything else in the world. So I find no other reason to get a PS5. Unfortunately, yeah, it really is just the graphical fidelity. If you really like their first-party games, then go for it. I mean, they have the Spider-Man, obviously, like I mentioned. They've had Uncharted in the past, but I don't think they've had a release for several years. Again, I'm not a PlayStation fan, so I don't really keep up with that kind of thing. But yeah, I think that's kind of unfortunate that is the case. But yeah, I don't know. I am a big Nintendo fan, but I think overall what we see in the gaming community is that when one part of the market's doing really well, I think that it just boosts the other parts of the market. And so I can be a little bit more ironic when it comes to console wars, so-called console wars. Especially now that there's a lot of crossplay and agreement with a lot of these companies, that they're not warring in the same way that they were in the 2000s and in the 2010s. So I can wish Sony the best with the PlayStation and hope that they make good business decisions, and maybe wish that they made better business decisions. But yeah, I don't keep track of PlayStation. I'm not a PlayStation fan, but that's not to say that I'm gonna go and rail against PlayStation at all. I don't see a good reason for that. So when I ran yesterday, get some past games. Oh yeah, yep. Yeah, Game Pass is kind of a nice little deal, but I'm a PC player and I can do Game Pass on my PC. I can get Oblivion Remastered for, well, a subscription, unfortunately, which is, again, the direction of a lot of markets, almost every market nowadays, it seems like. But it's, I can play it for 2 months and get it for, what, $20, less than $20, something like that. So that's kind of a good deal. That is definitely a game that I want to play. And more channel news, I guess, just because this is relevant to the topic at hand. We're gonna have some what are they? Community goals, community channel point goals that you guys can contribute to. Coming up soon. We're just gonna have a vote in the Discord. So if you're not in there, the link is down below. Can we get Noctis? Can you put the Discord link in chat, just in case anyone's not in there for whatever reason? We want you guys to be a part of that. But we're gonna be having a vote for. I've got 3 community challenges set up. One of them is an Adult Swim stream that we do one evening, and I think I'm gonna try and do one of these every month. So keep in tune with the Discord, because there's a lot going on, and that's going to determine a lot of what we're doing here on Twitch. I really value your guys' input and stuff like that, so I want to kind of try and incorporate what the chat wants, what people say on Discord, what they would like to see, and yeah, so we're going to be doing that. But yeah, the Adult Swim stream is one of the options. I have a couple of others that I can't think of right now, but the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, if I do Game Pass for 1 month just to play that would be really, really fun, I think. The others I think are... I cannot think right now what they are. But that will be published in the Discord, so stay tuned for that. Join that Discord if you are not a part of that already. We want you guys to be a part of the community so that you can participate in those votes, in the discussions and topics. That does inform a lot of kind of what we talk about here on stream and some of the games that we play. So if you're not a part of that already, highly encourage you to do so. So you need to beat Oblivion. Yeah, you got the remaster there, I imagine. So, hey, Bad Nintendo, welcome in. What's your best chapter in the Bible? I think my go-to, personally, is Genesis 50. That is where Joseph, having been abandoned by his family and dumped and sold into slavery in Egypt, is actually able to redeem his brothers and bring them in a time of famine and feed them and care for them. And he says, let me try and quote this. Brain's buzzing a little bit because of this stream. What is it? What you intended for evil, God intended for good. So because you did all these bad things to me, now it just so happens I am able to do good to you. And I think that reflects a lot of good things about what God does, and about how we should think about our situation, not being vengeful, and asking, is God trying to do something good here? Is this a place where I am supposed to bless someone and not be vengeful and spiteful like my human nature wants me to be? So, yeah. curious to know what yours is, Bad Nintendo, and of course, if anyone else wants to answer that as well, that is a free and open question. We are also talking about Nintendo Switch 2 and what people's hopes are for the Nintendo Switch 2, which brings me to the question also, are there any games that you would hope for the Nintendo Switch 2, and what are your hopes for those games? Deuteronomy 19 for now, still learning. Would you remind me what that one is? I can't actually. I do not remember, especially Deuteronomy, Leviticus, the numbers, that kind of stuff. What all is going down in each and every chapter. Star Fox for the Switch would be cool. That would be really cool. What kind of thing would you hope to see in a Star Fox game for the Switch? I've seen a lot of space shooter games, and I've seen things done really well, and I've seen things done really poorly. I think historically, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I've never actually played a Star Fox game, the Star Fox games in the past have been on-rails shooters, and I think those are really, really cool. And again, they can be done well, they can be done poorly. I think for the most part, they've been done well in the past. But I think with technology nowadays, and with the general trends in gaming, that we would love to see an open world Star Fox game. Maybe you're restricted to a solar system. I don't know the world building of Star Fox. Again, I've never played a game. But having a lot of planets would maybe be a little bit overwhelming. Maybe somewhat open world, open galaxy, but restricted areas of certain planets that you can explore on foot, or, you know, courses that you can do on the planet with your spaceship or something like that. You know, so Deuteronomy 19 was in the mix of some bad, awful chapters. I don't like the rest of them in Deuteronomy. But Deuteronomy 19, I take it, is a little bit more hopeful. I think that is actually kind of a trend. It's something that we see a lot. 6 cities of refuge, property boundaries, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. Yeah. It is. Deuteronomy is a restatement of the law, by and large. It is not saying things verbatim, as we see in Exodus, or the things that are mentioned in Leviticus and Numbers as well. And it's not comprehensive. I find actually that the law in the Bible is not comprehensive, and so that's something to consider when we read biblical in general. But yeah, that's some good stuff, and I think that's really important as well. Star Fox could be made into a movie. Nintendo doesn't have plans for a game unless they are secretly made. That'd be really cool. I keep seeing news about the Zelda movie, and apparently it got pushed back, which I think is unfortunate, because I love Zelda, and I have such mixed feelings on what it would look like in a movie. But I think Star Fox, I think you'd actually have a hard time going wrong with Star Fox in terms of just ideas to put forward to put into a movie. With Zelda, you have a lot of barriers that are there that kind of force you to ask a lot of hard questions, like, does Link talk? Does talk? Is there a reason for him not talking? Like, why is he a silent hero? Things like that. He's more of a silent hero in the English games than he tends to be in the Japanese. Well, okay, they're all the same game, but in terms of translation, Link seems to have more of a will to speak in the Japanese version of Breath of the Wild, for example. He has actual diary entry, and all of the side quests and things like that are in first person. So think about that. Could be a slightly different characterization of Link than we see generally. So space opera, it's there. It's a whole story for sure. Wow, like some certain space operas are popular or something. So yeah, no, I think that could be a really, really cool idea. I think Star Fox for Switch 2, that's probably going to happen at some point, right? It's got to happen. I don't know. Nintendo is definitely big on kind of their big 3, 4, 5 IP. They're definitely going to do a Zelda. They're gonna do a Mario. Like, there's no question about that. They already did Donkey Kong, though. So, they're definitely going to continue to think about, I think, some of the IPs that are maybe a little bit more on the margins. Hey, we haven't done... Gosh, I almost said Metroid, but that's kind of not the case anymore, is it? We haven't done Kid Icarus for a long time. Why don't we do a Kid Icarus? Why don't we rethink again what Kid Icarus was, like we did in Uprising, and try and do another game that's maybe similar or maybe completely different, and try and differentiate it from some of the other games that we do as well. Not necessarily doing like an open world or open level type design, but having something that's a little more unique. So 5 Kirby's a year? Oh my gosh, that would be insane. That would actually be insane. I don't know what I would think about that. We do have Kirby Air Riders. That's coming. That was unexpected, but that was a little passion project from Sakurai. And because of that, I think we know almost certainly that that is going to be a very, very good game, because Sakurai makes games. Smash Bros. Has been a smash hit every single time there's been a new game to come out. And if Sakurai really wants to make a game, you know that he's going to put everything in. Man, that trailer was so good. I thought it was going to be another Smash announcement. Like, Smash Ultimate Nintendo Switch 2 Edition. Here's 5 new characters that you get just for upgrading to the Nintendo Switch 2 Edition. And yeah, that's, you know, $10 and you get these free 5 characters in addition. We got an ad break. Sorry, guys. We're going to pause the conversation right there, just to make sure no one misses anything. Super appreciate you guys hanging out here. I know you're probably not able to hear me right now, but my voice, a very short break here. I can, of course, still sit here, but and of course, I think we have I do believe we have some what is it? Moderators, not moderators, moderators. And think what it is. Subs. Yeah, subs. Twitch Turbo people. Yeah. You guys are listening. It's awkward. I don't have any like funny dances or anything that probably. Are you guys you guys just see that whole thing? Oh. I don't know. This good opportunity and to rest my. Yeah, I should have made some tea. Could still make some tea. One thing about hotels recently doing really good tea, leaving tea bags in addition to the coffees that they do. They've been having tea as well, and that's been really nice, especially in the evening. I think they only have Earl Grey right now. That's what I'm seeing there anyway. Is very caffeinated, and so I don't think I'm doing that tonight, but I think I will be taking them home and having them eventually. Come to think of it, though, I do have this bag right here full of stuff that I have been bringing home from hotels just habitually. Oh, that's a black tea. Like, ooh, is this an herbal? I don't know if they have herbal. You would think they would. You would think that herbal tea would be something that they would do. Here, you can have this in the evening. I do like decaf, though. Decaf is very good with desserts, especially. That is a habit that my wife got me into. I never drank decaf until my wife is a decaf with dessert addict, or coffee with dessert addict. She cannot have a dessert and not have a coffee of some kind with it. So All right, it looks like we're back from the ad. Sorry, I did make that a little bit longer than expected. Appreciate you guys sticking with me for the ad breaks. Just something that we got to get through, but we're not going to be interrupting the discussion at all or I guess we're not going to be continuing the discussion in a manner that you guys would be unable to watch it or view it just because you're not subbed or anything like that. You might get some bonus content, bonus conversation, but yeah, you don't know about decaf. Decaf has a weird flavor to me. It's definitely different. It has a weird kind of acidic flavor to it that I'm just not sure about. And of course, coffee's acidic anyway, but yeah. Yeah, the ones that did not make it into the DLC. Did they have some that they were considering for the Smash Ultimate DLC that didn't make the cut? Or is it just the guys that all the fans want? Because, I mean, come on. Where's Waluigi? Waluigi. He's right there, Nintendo. You don't have to pay anything for him. He just exists. You can just have Waluigi as a character in Smash Bros. And everyone will be happy. I mean, he's got some pretty savage looking kneecaps. Like, those would hurt. Like, I don't know. I saw him, and actually I played a little bit of Waluigi in Mario Kart Double Dash, and one mechanic of that game actually made me... It lives rent-free in my head when I see Waluigi's animation for it. And so, Double Dash, Mario Kart Double Dash, since there was a back character, if there was a player playing as that back character, they could hit the right and left bumper buttons to perform a punch to the right or to the left. If there was a cart passing them, they could just knock them out for getting too close to them, which is crazy to think about. You can't really do that in any way in any of the other modern Mario Kart games. But Waluigi's animation for that gave both a fist and a knee uppercut, like a double uppercut. And man, his kneecap, at least in that game, it was like a sharp corner. I'm like, he is trying to like stab somebody with his kneecap. Yeah, man, I do not know. For whatever reason, that just lives rent-free in my head. I have the image of that burned into my brain. There are some things, especially in my kind of middle school days, which is when that was, that like they just have never left my head. I was talking about one earlier today. I was again in Highly in Dissent stream, and something he was talking about using a juicer, so like a machine that you use to juice an orange and make orange juice out of it. And for whatever reason, my brain went to my middle school days watching Disney Channel, because I was a Disney Channel kid. I was a Disney Channel kid in middle school. I was a Nickelodeon kid in elementary school. How did that work? Beats me. I was always a Disney person, but like, yeah. Anyway, Disney Channel days while I was in middle school to Corey in the House. Yeah. Tell me if you remember that one. But in their first episode, they had the school bully who was called the Juicer. And it was said of him, legend has it, that he can get the juice out of anything. And that was like his whole thing. It was his whole shtick was just, you know, he squeezes this kid's lunch bag and juice comes out of it. And you're like, well, what was in the lunch bag? I don't know, a sandwich or something like that. It looks like there was soup in there, but I don't know why that came to my mind today. But do you guys have things that just like randomly come to your mind that are just from your childhood, from middle school days, from, you know, a long time ago, that it's just like, huh, I guess that's a thing that exists in my brain space. But yeah, giant chocobo, that would be something. What other, if we were gonna do 5 characters for a Smash Ultimate Switch 2 edition, what would they be? I think my first is Waluigi, because that's in everything that I see in Smash Bros kind of character discord. That's what I see, is everyone wants Waluigi. So I'll take that one for granted. That'll be the one that I kind of take to the bank and say like, yep, that's the one that we're going with. We're going with Waluigi for sure. But if we were to do 4 more, who would it be? I kind of think, I don't know, I'm wearing a KK slider. Maybe we do KK slider. That could be a really fun one. We could do different little riffs on his guitar from different songs that he plays. I don't know exactly how that would work, or if it would just kind of like that as he attacks. I don't know, but I think that would be a really cool idea to implement in some way, and have just something that is kind of a more musical player. We do already have the villager. We already have Isabelle for Animal Crossing. That's kind of it. So we could have either KK Slider or Mayor Tortimer or Tom Nook as new characters as well. So it would be nice to get a Ninja Turtle. Yeah, I've played some of those classic arcade games, and that would be fun as well. And you could have Echoes as well. Now that they have Echo Fighters, you could just have the Ninja Turtle character, which is like Michelangelo, for example, and you could just play as any of the 4 of them as Echo Fighters. And I think that's perfectly viable. Daisy is an Echo character for Peach, and all of that kind of stuff. So I think now that they have Echo characters, that is like really a viable option, because it would be weird if they took all 4 of them as completely distinct characters in their previous system. Turok. I'm not familiar with Turok. I can't think of who that is offhand. Getting into different franchises, I suppose, that are maybe not Nintendo. Or Predator. Ooh, interesting. Do they do much with games? Because I find that most of the Smash characters, actually all of them, are pretty much from different video games. So, I don't know. That would be interesting for sure. I guess my instinct is kind of to go with Nintendo characters, because those are the ones that they don't have to pay licensing for, and with a $10 Nintendo Switch 2 upgrade, that they're going to want to probably lean a little bit more into their own franchises. But that is my own kind of thing. So feel free to suggest whoever you like, of course. Just wanted to give a reasoning, I suppose, for why I'm like, oh yeah, Animal Crossing, Mario characters, that kind of thing. They could have Birdo as an Echo Fighter for Yoshi. It's also just what I'm most. So, I said Tom Nook, but Timmy and Tommy could be really interesting and fun as well. Now, there's not really a whole lot that you can do with any distinct Animal Crossing character, just because I don't think that there's really that much that is like distinct for, say, Isabelle versus Villager. Like, they kind of do some overlapping things, which I think is fine, of course. Isabelle maybe has some more specific things that reference her and her actual character a little bit more, but I think the party poppers are one example, because she always had the ceremonies and things like that, and so of course she's gonna have the party poppers and those. So don't see much movesets for most Animal Crossing villagers. Yeah, that's kind of my one hesitation, and that's why I also said like KK Slider would be a fantastic one, because he does actually bring something else to the table that we haven't already seen in previous Animal Crossing characters for Smash. So he would not have the same kind of overlap that Villager and Isabelle do. So yeah, I think that one's actually a little bit more viable. I don't know that we would necessarily want to see, I don't know, Blathers or someone like that. Again, just don't seem to bring that much to the table. I guess Tom Nook could just like build a house on you, but I think Villager does that anyway for his like final Smash. So I need to like get out of the Animal Crossing mindset though, and like try and think of other franchises. I think most of the other franchises are actually pretty well represented. I mean, they have all the main characters with that. So, the Duck Hunter, yeah, because we have Duck Hunt. But like, who is the Duck Hunter? I guess I don't really know. I remember seeing Duck Hunt back in the day. I was very first at my daycare, where the little ones, me, I was a little one at the time. We're not allowed to play. We had the Super Nintendo. We had, you know, Super Mario All Stars. We had A Link to the Past, and we definitely had Duck Hunt because I remember seeing that one. And I enjoyed watching that. You know, I enjoyed watching as much as I saw, but again, little ones not allowed to play. I didn't get to play any video games until I went to a different daycare and picked up Ocarina of Time and had no idea what I was doing. And then I picked up Mario Kart and had no idea what I was doing. My early days of video games were rough, but that daycare in particular had a 5-minute limit for single players. So it was kind of like, really, even if they're trying to incentivize multiplayer games, I get it, but oh man, 5 minutes was rough. So use the shooter on screen to hit the other players. Yeah, that's that would be something. Little bit of Mario Galaxy, maybe. I don't know. Do we have Rosalina? That just made me think. If we don't have Rosalina, I think we need Rosalina in Smash. That is one of the series' important people, I suppose. Could also do. They could do the champions, I think, from Breath of the Wild. I think that would go over better than, like, say, Rauru from Tears of the Kingdom. I think they just built a little bit more of an iconic cast of characters, Breath of the Wild, than they did for Tears of the Kingdom. And so any of those four, I think, would be fantastic. Could also do, and you could potentially have Echo Fighters with these between Breath of the Wild and the Ocarina of Time stages. Maybe do 2 or 3 of those. Have Darunia or Ruto. I think those are some good options. Because that's something we don't have, is other races represented from Zelda. We have Ganondorf, of course. Have Link. We have multiple Links. And then we have Zelda. So, not a lot of representation, actually, for Zelda, which is one of the bigger, more popular franchises. So you could actually benefit a lot, I think, from having other Zelda characters in a Smash Bros. Game. That's a proposition. I don't know if I'm doing very well to put together a good top 5. Yeah, if Rosalina's not in there, I think I would put Rosalina in, along with Waluigi, KK Slider, Darunia and Ruto. Maybe not Darunia and Ruto. Maybe we mix it up a little bit between the games. Maybe we do, okay, so we do Rivali, right? Do the Rito Bird Boy. He's really the most, I think, distinct Rito character that we've gotten. And then maybe we do, what are some other good? We want one good Zora character, and we want one good Gerudo character. I don't know that we have that much to go with, though, if we want to add the other Zelda races. So we may just end up having to go with Ruto and Darunia, and maybe having Daruk and Mipha as Echo Fighters. Or Yunobo with the big rock. That's a possibility as well. I don't think I can think right now of, like, what are the good Zelda games with the Goron characters or the Zora characters, none of them just stand out that to me that much. Now, we're playing through Twilight Princess right now, and I mean, it's a good game, don't get me wrong, but there aren't really any characters from out of the Goron tribe or the Zora that really strike me that much. And I think that that's a little bit unfortunate. And of course, with Wind Waker, you have kind of a similar problem that, oh, these characters are like no longer in existence, so that doesn't really work. You get a couple Gorons in Skyward Sword. Again, don't really stand out. They don't really do that much, unfortunately. So, yeah, you might just go with the Ocarina of Time sages and have Echo Fighters with some of the others. Or, I don't know, maybe you do have just all 4 Breath of the Wild champions. That might just be the easiest thing to do. Of course, part of me wants to have Sidon too. So maybe you go Darunia and Sidon and have just kind of like a little bit of a caveat there where it's like, oh, only one of them is Breath of the Wild champion. This guy is, I guess he's a Tears of the Kingdom sage. So that's slightly different. But then you go back and you have Darunia, and he has his final smash where he dances to the Saria song and things like that. I don't know, that'd be fun. And we really went off on a rabbit trail for Smash Bros. Nintendo Switch 2 edition, didn't we? Yeah, I think that's fine though. I think that's good conversation, good thought-provoking conversation. And that is, I suppose, with those recommendations, that is well over 5. But I think there's some good ideas there. I think there's definitely some good ideas. What kinds of things would you want to see in a new original Smash Bros. Game? The Mighty Gorilla. Goraya? I don't know who that is. I do not know who that is. Again, iBlueWave, you are the master gamer, the master game collector, and I am very far from that level of prowess in my knowledge of games and gaming things. So, yeah, forgive me for falling vastly short of what you are talking about right here, or knowing what you are talking about with that. So, yeah. New Smash Bros. I don't know much about Smash Bros, unfortunately, so I can't really speak to this. I think I'm definitely much more of a Mario Kart player. I always have been. That's been kind of my go-to. I have a little bit of a core memory of I had a cousin when I was 14 who got married, and my whole family came, a bunch of family from Michigan. They all stayed at my house. Well, my cousin has 10 kids. Yeah, they were all in the same house with me. I'm an only child. Imagine how that went over for me. And the whole time they were playing Smash Bros. On my GameCube and like fighting and yelling about it. And I was just like, what are you doing? I don't know what to make of this, and I don't know what to do. I don't really want to play this game with you guys. I don't really appreciate you hogging my Nintendo system and playing a game that I don't want to play, and like not including me and like making a big event out of it. So one day they went to the pool. I stayed home. I played Mario Kart by myself. So wonderful. It was exactly what I needed at that time. All that to say, I've always been much more of a Mario Kart player than a Smash Bros. Player. I'm usually pretty much just a button masher with Smash Bros. So, I mean, it's fun enough, but when you don't know what you're doing, it kind of does limit the fun, unfortunately. But, yeah, all that to say, we already have our Mario Kart, and so I can't really necessarily make specific requests. Maybe we get updates to Mario Kart. I'm not going to count on that at this point. I think the game is deep enough, and it's got enough to it right now that we don't really need to be beggars. But yeah, if they did a new Smash Bros, I don't really know exactly what they would do differently. It would probably just be, again, a kind of a rehash of Smash Ultimate. I don't know what the new Smash Bros. Games really bring to the table in terms of like new stuff. So if you guys want to tell me, feel free to. I want to know stuff. I just don't. So the other competitive game that I kind of do is Splatoon. Obviously, they're coming out with the new Splatoon game. Let me check here for a sec. Wouldn't mind new Smash Bros. Yeah, and 200cc. That's right. I do remember that was not a thing. Let's see. Splatoon Raiders. That's right. That's what it was. I could not remember. Which looks good. It looks like a good kind of story side adventure. Maybe one of the cheaper games which is coming out for the, which I am looking forward to. I have not seen a lot. Speaking of which, I've not seen a lot about the prices, and it kind of looks like, just from the bits of the conversation that I've been hearing, that maybe, no, for sure, that the pricing is not quite as bad as what some people maybe made it out to be. Of course, you look online, you read comment sections on YouTube and things like that. Oh man, they're charging $90 for games now. There's no way I'm never buying Nintendo again. And obviously, you know, it's blowing things out of proportion when, you know, it is kind of more per game pricing. And honestly, if they're charging a premium for Mario Kart, I'm going to pay that premium because I'm a sucker, okay? I'll just say it. I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for a good Mario Kart game, and this looks like a good Mario Kart game. A lot of the worries that a lot of people had about mechanics of the game seem to have fallen by the wayside after even just 2 weeks of gameplay. The railings, you know, people were worried, oh, this is going to be an on-rails racer. You're just going to, you know, be able to zip right along the railing and win the race. Not that simple. Turns out you actually have to aim and be able to stay on the rails, and people going faster than you can just knock you off. And the shells that are launched on the rails will stay on the rails and turn as they go. And there's a lot of like nuance to that, which is good. So yeah, they spaced out the games from Nintendo. Yeah, I think, in my opinion, and I don't know if this is the case, maybe I am just reading too much into it, but the fact that we're not getting a lot of releases is a little bit of a kindness, I think. I think it would be really, really overwhelming for a lot of us, especially given the prices, if they dropped the Nintendo Switch 2 with the $450 price tag, and they had Mario Kart World and DK and Splatoon Raiders and new Mario, and they're not going to do new Mario and new Zelda all at the same time, but if they had like all of these new exclusive titles, holy moly, that would be overwhelming, I think. And so I think even the fact that they announced Splatoon Raiders a week and a half after the Switch 2 came out, I think that shows us that they're pacing a little bit. I think we're going to see a good year of games for the Nintendo Switch 2, but I think that it would be overwhelming to see lots of things all at once. I can't afford a Nintendo Switch 2, so I don't know what to do when I get one because there's all these games, and now I just kind of want to hide under a rock and not know about anything anymore. No, you know, that's not going to happen because they're spacing things out, and I can wisely set my priorities and things like that. So CPU are also tough. Yeah, that's a good thing when it comes to a Mario Kart game as well. Having challenging CPUs. I have heard that, at least with like Knockout Tour, that it's based off of, it rubber bands off of some weird statistics and things like that. So for example, the number of times that you drift in the Knockout Tour, the CPUs will actually improve their racing as you drift more and more, which is like weird. I don't know. Hopefully there will be more shipments for the Switch 2. Yeah, again, I think I mentioned this before. I'm going to be going for December as a purchase date. We kind of have that target date. So Christmas is going to be an excellent opportunity. You know, hopefully we get some cash. I'm going to be asking for Best Buy gift certificates. We've got our subs and bits, all of our Twitch money. Whatever we get from Twitch is going to be going towards the Switch 2 budget. We've got $60 towards that so far. Maybe I should create a progress bar of that. It's like Switch 2 fund. We're at, I don't even know. We're 1/9 of the way there. So I guess that's 11%. 11% of the way there for our full fund, which is that's saying something. And of course, any Best Buy gift card that we get, I think, is probably going to be counted towards that as well. But yeah, I think by December that we're going to be just fine in terms of having Switch 2 in stock and getting it there. So Mario is going to happen, right? We haven't had a 3D Mario since 2017. So there's a lot of questions that we can ask when it comes to what's going to happen for the next 3D Mario. Have they been working on it? Has this been a work in progress for many months? Are they going to release it within the first year of the Switch 2? I think that's maybe, if they have been working on it, I think that's probably what's going to happen. But anyway, we actually have an ad break coming up. So that is kind of the question. If you guys want to answer, what do you think of a new Mario game? What's going to happen with it? What do you expect? What are your hopes for the next Mario game? Where is it going to be set? What kind of mechanics? Are we going to get Galaxy 3? That's almost kind of what I hope for. But yeah, type those down in the chat, and after the ad break, we will go ahead and address those. I'm going to give my voice a short break again and hang out with the Turbo and Sub people. So, actually, since you are Turbo Noctis, I'll talk to you about this on our ad break. If you got a Ko-Fi, I do have a Ko-Fi. I don't know if I have it linked still. I maybe felt a little bit bad about it. 0 of the funds, or 5% of the funds if you choose to contribute. That's good to know. That's good to know. Yeah, I'll make sure to go ahead and add that, and then maybe switch. I suppose our Twitch funds will still be geared towards Switch 2, but if you wanted to contribute to that a little more directly, that would be it. So yeah, I think I'll make mention of that as well. That'll be a good way for our content to continue, because I was worried there for a while. You know, Switch 2 coming out, it's kind of expensive. I don't know what to make. Ooh, yeah, I don't know quite how to handle it in terms of expenses and like that. And I'm having a baby. My wife and I are having a baby, and gosh, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna afford this? Want it, obviously, but yeah, I don't know. That'd be cool, and I think that's a good idea. So, which is taking a good chunk of our revenue. They are taking a good chunk. It's more expensive now, and I mean it's still a 50-50 for. Okay, but yeah, I will definitely look into that, and I will phrase it that way, especially. And since I'm looking at making more YouTube content, I could maybe do some early releases for Ko-Fi people as well, just kind of as a reward, as thanks for, hey, you're helping out, you know, you're contributing to the cause, helping us continue our content. And I think going until next year, basically, with the Switch 1, and I think we're going to be doing just fine in terms of hey, we're still gonna have content going. I'm still up with a lot of games. I have maybe not a top of the line PC, but a pretty good PC that can, it can handle Oblivion, and that's one of those Adult Swim games that we could definitely play if we end up going with that. So, yeah, good ideas, definitely. I really appreciate that, Noctis. We're talking about, of course, setting up a Ko-Fi to fund the Nintendo Switch 2, and instead of course, doing Twitch stuff. Which, hey, if you want to subscribe, if you want to donate bits and things like that, again, those will all go to the Switch 2. And I really appreciate that. That's really all the money that we can set aside for it. And again, that's the reason that that is designated in that way. If it weren't for the fact that I'm having a kid in September, October timeframe, I think we would have a Switch 2 already. I think that we would be able to justify that expense. But unfortunately, that is not the case. So, yeah, question was, welcome back, people who were at the ads. Thank you guys for waiting and hanging out with me. Question was, Mario, what do we want for the next Mario game? And I think that is a burning question. Of course, there's the possibility that Nintendo has actually been working on this for some time. And like I mentioned, we haven't seen a Mario game since 2017, a 3D Mario game, that is, since 2017. And there's good reason to think that there's one coming this year, because this is actually the 40th anniversary of Mario. So 1985 was the original Super Mario Bros. Game. 2025 is the 40th anniversary. So I think by the end of the year, we're getting a new 3D Mario game. Mario Universe. Super Mario Universe. Yeah, that would be fantastic. I don't know that it necessarily has to be, space themed or anything like that, but yeah, I think Mario Universe, that would be great. I think, honestly, when it comes to 3D Mario, and 3D Mario more than anything, I trust Nintendo. I absolutely trust Nintendo to make a top-of-the-line, stellar 3D platform. Mario Odyssey, I think, was better than we could have expected. And it took a lot of things, it took a lot of cues from Mario Galaxy, but it also took a lot of cues from a lot of indie developers that have been doing 3D platformers ever since Mario Galaxy and a lot of other games came out. And so I think that we have some good inclination that Nintendo really knows what they're doing when it comes to Mario, and they know what they want to do. This is kind of their main brand IP. And so having that kind of vision, I think, is really important. And it seems to me, and this is going back kind of a long ways, but it seems to me that they really do know what they're doing, and they know what they want to do when it comes to Mario. So I really trust that whatever comes for Mario will be fantastic. But like Mario Universe, whatever it is, I personally think I kind of want something a little more on the niche side. I really liked the idea of Mario Sunshine. And so if we can go back to Mario being maybe a little more restricted in terms of where he is, right? Of course, we had the several different areas within Isle Delfino that Mario got to explore that had all of the shine sprites and things like that. But they were still fairly open. They were very open, in fact, more open than a lot of the Mario Galaxy levels, which of course there were more of. And so, you give some and you take some when it comes to platformers. I think now with the Nintendo Switch 2 especially, we have the power to do both bigger and more worlds. Now with Odyssey, it was again kind of more bigger worlds, but we had more areas to explore than we had, I think anyway, in Sunshine. So hey Ember, welcome in. It's good to see you. If I missed you, it was because I saw the blue and could not rightly discern your name there from Noctis's there. So yeah, I'm sure the storyboard for the next Mario game is pack full of Post-its. Oh, I'm absolutely positive of that. They've done a day, night, or or world reversals for Super Mario Bros. Yeah, that's interesting. Do you think that they would do like a parallel? I'm not blaming you, Noctis. I'm blaming me being blind. Anyway, yeah, sorry about that, Ember. I hope you're doing well today. It's very good to see you. Glad you came in. We're talking about the new Mario game that is presumably coming out at the end of the year. So yeah, if you have any comments on that or hopes for the game to come, then yeah, feel free to post them in the chat and we can talk about them. But yeah, I was about to say, having multiple worlds, or not, having, I should say, a parallel world in a Mario game, I think really, really interesting. And at least that's kind of what that makes me think of. iBlueWave is like the day versus night or something like that. Yeah, I know, I just saw the blue and I assumed I'm mostly looking kind of straight on, but anyway. Yeah, no rumors. We're not working with rumors. We're kind of talking just hopes and dreams here. What are your hopes? What are your dreams? I know there have been some Pokemon rumors. We can maybe get to those a little bit later, but yeah, no, just what do we want? And I was kind of talking, I'd like for Mario to be a little more focused. You know, he gets to one area and there's trouble. Kind of like Sunshine, right? Mario Sunshine, he got to Isle Delfino and there was trouble. And we took care of that trouble. And I think that that's a cool concept. Now, is Bowser going to be behind this trouble? With the major 3D Mario releases, I almost think it has to be. We don't get a lot of major 3D Mario games, and so unless it's a sequel or a second Mario game on the same platform with the same engine, right? I don't think we're going to have anyone other than Bowser as the main villain. I think it would be really cool to have someone other than Bowser as the main villain. That's just my thoughts. I really like that idea, but I don't think they should do it for like the first Switch 2 release. It's Mario's 40th anniversary. It's gotta be Bowser. It has to be Bowser. Bowser, you know, went to this big city or something like that and is just running rampant. I don't know. I have no idea what it would be. But something maybe just a little bit less grandiose in scale compared with Galaxy. Or compared with Odyssey as well. If we got another Galaxy, if we got another Odyssey, if we got something even more grandiose in scale, I wouldn't be upset. I'm just saying, like, having something that's a little more niche in terms of its actual geographic spread, I think is perfectly valid and very interesting. The one thing you don't get, and this is maybe not that controversial, maybe people would actually like this, maybe people do, I should say, actually like this. The one thing you don't get in Super Mario Sunshine is ice levels. Now, you get a lot of other problematic mechanics and things like that, and so take those as you will, but can you imagine a Super Mario Sunshine, as glitchy as that game was, ice physics? Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine that. Fortunately, though, I think what we're going to get on the Switch 2 is going to be much better than whether it's Mario Universe or Mario saves this random small town. Or maybe they go to... Oh, what was it? I was about to say DeKalberg, but that was a Sticker Star, which is maybe a little bit heretical. Shame on me. What is Rogueport? Rogueport. Maybe they go to Rogueport and Bowser's causing trouble over there. And it's just a great throwback to Paper Mario for some reason. That, like, They didn't have to do this. We didn't have to go back to an area that was only ever in a Paper Mario game, and only one Paper Mario game at that. But yeah, time to feed the kitties. All right, Ember, you enjoy that. That's a big job. I have no doubt. But yeah, I don't know. Going back to Rogueport, going back to somewhere else, maybe in Paper Mario game or Mario RPG games. The Mario world is a big world, and I think even if we just stay in the Mushroom Kingdom, which, similar to what I said about Bowser, I think that's also probably pretty likely. It's the 40th anniversary. Are they gonna do a 40th anniversary Mario game and not have it be in the Mushroom Kingdom? Of course we can go to the Bean Kingdom, but again, we probably are gonna stick mainly in the Mushroom Kingdom. But it would be really cool to see open world Mario. You can go anywhere you want, and one of those areas is the Bean Kingdom. So the Mario dreaming of beating a strange creature like in Super Mario Bros. 2. Oh my gosh, that would be interesting. Yeah, that would be an interesting way to frame a new Super Mario Bros. Game, especially, or I guess a 3D Super Mario game. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that part of Super Mario Bros. 2, but what I do know is that there is a fantastic album from Louis Zong that has a song called "It Was All a Dream," and it is a disco version from the theme to Super Mario Bros. 2, and it is fantastic, and you should go check it out. Louis Zong on YouTube. You can look him up. Lots and lots of great music. Do recommend him. Lots of Nintendo stuff and other just kind of weird, quirky music, which I really like. It's usually a little bit jazzy, which I also like. I'm a jazz aficionado, or maybe I'm just a sucker for it. Who knows? Yeah, I enjoy a little bit of Louis Zong myself. But yeah, I think that would be an interesting framework for some of that as well. I don't know that it's necessary. I think that it's just kind of like a weird part of the end, I guess. We should get something Mario related. I would be very shocked if we did not get something. Again, it's been 8 years since we've had a new 3D Mario game. I think we're overdue. 8 years is a long time. It's been a whole console generation since we've had a new Mario. And, you know, graphically speaking, Odyssey holds up perfectly fine. I mean, a part of me is tempted to go back to Mario Odyssey. We are probably, by the way, going to be playing Mario Galaxy. I'll be doing it on the Switch on Saturday, so tune in for that. That is currently in the lead in our VIP vote. If you're a VIP, by the way, and you haven't voted, you should go do that. Because, yeah, we don't have many votes, but Mario Galaxy is in the lead. I do want it to win, kind of. So, maybe still vote for that one, but don't let me convince you. Don't do it just because I said so. Yep, do appreciate that, Noctis. Yeah, the voting is, this vote, I should say, is specifically for VIPs and subs, and of course mods. Mods I would consider to be VIPs, VIP plus, if you will. So if you're a mod also and you haven't voted, you should go do that. Because you can do that. You are welcome to. I think I specified that, but I don't know if everyone saw it or remembered it necessarily. So, yeah, Mario Galaxy. I'm excited for that. I've been craving it a little bit. My nostalgic gamer soul has been kind of feeling it. And that game actually inspired me a lot for a lot of different reasons. The soundtrack had no business hard. Had business going that hard. And being in 8th grade band at the time it came out was really influential for me. I was a clarinet player. I thought clarinet was a little bit lame, but my parents, it felt like anyway, kind of made me. After I played Super Mario Galaxy, I wanted to be a clarinet player. I was like, oh, you can actually play really cool music on the clarinet, on the flute, on these nerdy band instruments. It changed my standpoint, my viewpoint on these things, because I was hearing, it's like, I can play that. I hear the Super Mario Bros. Theme being played on the clarinet, and sure, I can, play it on my own and have my own little, like, here's how you play Super Mario Bros. On the recorder or whatever, but like the fact that I'm actually hearing it's translating a little bit better. Also, I do apologize for the lighting. I had some natural lighting. It was really difficult to put together, just because there's not really a good lighting situation for actually streaming, recording, that kind of thing. Now that the sun's going down, I'm losing a lot of that natural light, and so my face is going to be a little more flashy, glowy, whatever. So yeah, bear with me. I do appreciate you guys sticking with me in spite of kind of the weird technical setup, but yeah, glad we can do this still and have a good conversation. So someone asked you and I read it. Okay, yeah, about the voting for mods. I don't know if anyone asked, but I did think of that potentially being an issue and said, hey, by the way, you guys are VIPs. Like, you guys, the mods, you mods are the VIPs. I am entrusting you with the security of my stream. Of course you're at least a VIP. Like, I don't know why I would consider you anything less. So, yes, mods can vote in the VIP polls, and I encourage it. The more votes that we have, the better representation we get of the community, and that's why I have the polls. It's because I want to play the games that you guys want to see, and I can't do all of them, so we're gonna pick the top 2, and that's gonna be what we play for that week. But of course, it could all change the next week. So yeah, it does usually change from week to week. I think we usually go back and forth between, like, it's a Stardew Valley plus Twilight Princess, then it's maybe a Minecraft and Stardew Valley or something like that, or Minecraft and I forget what. There's Hollow Knight, and then there's one other that I can't think of offhand. Pokemon. Minecraft and Pokemon the next week, and it usually kind of flip-flops back and forth a little bit, which I think is good. I think that keeps the content a little bit fresh. Unfortunately, since that is really the only stream that we're doing consistently right now, it does kind of keep us from having good, consistent content on individual games unless they get picked repeatedly. But I think I would rather keep the community kind of satisfied with kind of mixing it up as you guys choose, instead of having something that kind of just gets a little bit old over time. And sometimes, we play 1 or 2 episodes of something, and it's just not something that the community really wants to see, and so let it go for a bit. Maybe we'll let it go for good. And I can bear that as well. So I'm looking forward to getting back into some Legends Arceus. That is actually currently in the 2nd place position the last time I saw. So in addition to Mario Galaxy, we will probably also be playing Legends Arceus, unless all of you guys are just now voting for everything else. I don't know what's happening in that poll right now. I haven't checked it since well before stream. So looking forward to seeing where that is. I will be posting a reminder of that on, well, actually tomorrow. I was about to say on Friday. That's tomorrow. So yeah, I guess you guys are all here. You're getting reminded perpetually, but there we go, voted. Oh, thanks, Noctis. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. And yeah, I just want to hear your guys' voices. That's really all this is, I wanna put out the kind of content that you guys want to see, and it's also why we're doing polls for the community challenge. You guys want to see an Adult Swim stream where we stream until midnight and play something a little darker? Maybe I should do a horror game community challenge or something like that. I know we have the 100,000 point what is it, Ring Fit Adventure stream that usually comes up around the same time several times over. I think the last time that we had that come up, it was 3 weeks in a row because you guys all sat there and collected your points. You hoarded your points until you all used it 1 week after the other. You know who you are. I know who you are. Looking at my mods right now, and one of them at least is sweating. I encourage it though. I have fun with Ring Fit Adventure. I had not super good time the first time that I did it. That was because I played for a whole hour, and that was really dumb. But yeah, that was it was a good workout. And maybe I need to play a little bit more on my own, but that kind of makes me think. Ring Fit Adventure was really good for no reason. It was a really good game that came out of absolutely nowhere, and it was fantastic for what it was. None of us expected it, but that kind of brings me to the question. With respect to the Switch 2, what unexpected things do you think might happen? Do you think this is maybe a little bit of a low bar here? Do you think maybe that they will do a sequel to Ring Fit Adventure? I think that's actually maybe not quite as likely, thinking about it immediately. I thought it was pretty likely, but then considering the Ring is adapted exclusively for the Joy-Con 1, I don't think it's going to be as easy as it would have been if they had kept the same or a similar or adaptable design for the Joy-Cons for the Switch 2. So unfortunately that probably isn't going to happen. But sorry about my squeaky chair, by the way. I'm trying to keep in the center of the screen, not just like cut my forehead off. So that's why this is happening. Mario Paint. Honestly though, with the new mouse controls, Mario Paint with the new mouse controls would actually be pretty great. And have all of the different features for Mario Paint. So I know one of my first experiences with writing music was Mario Paint Composer. That could be really fun. That could be a really fun, super random thing that they just sell for like $20 on the eShop or something like that. That would be amazing. You would need a 3D printed attachment. Yeah, they could just do a modification so that it connects basically in the same way. I think that's probably easy enough instead of just selling a new ring. Because then of course they can just sell the rings if you don't already have it. Sequel to Ring Fit Adventure 2 I think could be really fun. Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think back to the Wii days. So, like, what things did they have in the Wii days that were maybe a little bit neat? So, now, Mario Sports, obviously, or I guess Wii Fit Mario Sports. That's not even a... Wii Fit was a thing, but it feels like Ring Fit Adventure is like the spiritual successor in a way to Ring Fit Adventure. So maybe if you guys have any more ideas of things that are unexpected, feel free to post them. I am going to see if I can run an ad here real quick, like, because I actually really need to use the restroom. We have one coming up, but 1 minute ad break. See if we can do that. Here we go. And I will be right back. Maybe. There it goes. All right. BRB. for some reason, running ads does not actually snooze the ads from coming in. Because as soon as that ad break finished, it was like, oh, ad break coming up in a minute and a half. And I'm like, oh, it's not. So, anyway, what else do we got? Would like a new Castlevania game. I mean, there's a new Ninja Gaiden. You're right. And honestly, I think I'd rather see Castlevania than Ninja Gaiden. Castlevania is just so cool. The gothic aesthetic of Castlevania is probably one of the more appealing things that I see in one of the more classic games. And it's really well done for NES/Super NES titles. And having that in full HD would be phenomenal. That would be really, really cool. Wii lightsabers were really cool back in the day. I feel like that. I think that was a what was it? Wii Sports Resort thing. I could be wrong, but I think that was only in Wii Sports Resort. But yeah, that would be really, really cool. Having something like that. Saber fighters. I don't know. Just honestly, do Nintendo Switch Sports 2. I don't think Nintendo Switch Sports by itself was really that good. I don't think people grabbed onto it quite the same way that they did on Wii Sports. And so maybe thinking about how they can revamp the Nintendo Switch Sports IP to harken back maybe a little bit more to the good old days of Wii Sports. And frankly, I don't know if that's possible, because one of the more endearing things about Wii Sports was the character design. You know, it's a small oval on top of a big oval, which snowman looking people with floaty ball hands, and they're playing sports. Like, they seem to have no business playing sports. So yeah, I don't know. That is probably a significant portion of what makes Wii Sports so endearing, and the different shenanigans that they have in there, I guess, as well. They have, you know, goofy animations and sound effects and things like that. So maybe lean into that a little more for Nintendo Switch Sports 2, right? And aesthetically making the characters look just more cartoonish. I think that you're Nintendo, you know, you can get away with being cartoonish. No one really cares if you have cartoonish characters. I don't know. Star Wars: The Clown Wars on Wii. Yeah. Clown Wars is just the flea market non-official scam game. Pull out of a taxi cab. Oh my gosh. It kind of does look like that in Attack of the Clones, though, let's be real. See these Republic gunships fly in, and all these guys start pouring. Whoa, okay. But yeah, anyway, Clown Wars. Maybe Clown Wars is a thing that Nintendo will come up with. You never know. It seems very out of the blue that Nintendo comes up with these just wild games. We had ARMS, a boxing game featuring characters with spring arms, just so they could do their motion controls. Who knows what Nintendo will come up with? I guess that's maybe what I'm saying is, like, come up with the most eccentric game that you can think of, and, you know, post it in the chat. Let's talk about these crazy things that Nintendo could do. And honestly, it's probably not too far off of what they could do. Silly games are popular right now. Honestly, I don't think silly games will ever be unpopular. I mean, sure, I guess we had our era in the 2010s where, you know, the Call of Duty boys really liked their serious shooter games. But Nintendo at the same time was still making bank off of the Wii and off of Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort and all of these other games that really weren't that serious. The most serious game that they did, I guess Twilight Princess was a thing, but that was at the very front end of the Wii era. They did Skyward Sword after that, and That was maybe a little more silly. I don't know. Trombone champ. Honestly, trombone champ stream when? Trombone champ stream when? That was one of my childhood dreams. So I already mentioned this stream. I played clarinet in the band in middle school and high school and in college. Loved it all the way through. Thank you, Mario Galaxy, for helping me actually enjoy that. But yeah, when I was a kid, like a little kid, I loved the trombone. We went to basketball games, high school basketball games, because my cousin was playing. And I think she also sang the national anthem a couple times at them. But yeah, I loved looking over at the band, the pep band, and seeing the trombones doing their thing. And I'm like, dang, I want to be a trombone player. That looks like fun. Like, it's a big old instrument, and you're just working the slide. Like, dang, that's cool. Of course, that's the most appealing instrument to a kid. I don't know what instrument in a pep band could be more appealing to a kid. Maybe something that's louder, but I mean, it's the trombone. Yeah, we should probably play Trombone Champ. I maybe we do a community challenge for Trombone Champ stream. Yeah, no, Trombone Champ with Joy-Cons. That's real. Come on, Nintendo. You gotta work with the people. You gotta get the right connections in. This is what the people need, is Trombone Champ on the Switch 2. Oh, that's fantastic. And honestly, I would prefer that. I really loved doing Wii Music when it came out. That was the same time that Mario Galaxy absolutely inspired me to continue and stay in band and things like that. I think also we had some Mannheim Steamroller music that we played in band for the Christmas concert, and listening to them was like, oh, this is really cool as well. So maybe it wasn't just Mario Galaxy, but it was kind of like, it was very similar things that happened kind of at the same time. So it was Mario Galaxy and a little bit of Mannheim Steamroller, but still, yeah, a whole band. Yeah, I don't know, maybe they come out with a game called Jam Session for the Nintendo Switch, and you can get a small group together, and maybe they have a more robust way of playing music with the Joy-Cons. I don't know what that looks like. If you are a developer for a game like this for the Switch 2, I feel like you have to be at least a little bit more creative than me. But yeah, I don't know. That sounds like a lot of fun. It could be really, really good. Having a whole band for the Nintendo 2, or at least a small band. I think having a little jazz combo, little jam session would be super cool. I think that could be fun. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the Switch 2. I'm looking forward to whatever it is that they decide to do with it. Camera and chat available. Oh, that fact makes it even better. Man, that's really off the wall. But I think that when it comes to Nintendo and developing something for to just show off their technology, they're gonna do something totally off the wall. Of course they're going to. And I think that these little kind of mini games, if you will, are a really good way that they often actually end up doing that. Wii Music, Wii Sports, they had Wii Fit. They had Wii Fit Plus. Was it Wii Fit Plus? I can't remember what it was exactly, but yeah, they had a sequel to Wii Fit, I think. Was that just implemented into Wii Sports Resort, though? That's the other question. I can't remember. It has been way too long since I played. That is a fact. Unfortunately, my actual Wii doesn't spin discs anymore. I think you can get that fixed, but it's probably more expensive than I would want to do. And it's the same story with my GameCube. So I officially, currently at least, cannot play GameCube games on original hardware, which is sad. Now, GameCube still turns on. The Wii still functions by and large. So I can get it fixed. It is within the realm of something that can be fixed. So it is a possibility that I'll be able to play and, by the way, stream some GameCube and or Wii games. Well, GameCube games on original hardware. I do not include Wii games in that because I do have the Wii U, and so I can play Wii games on original hardware. It's just not original hardware. Original enough. But yeah, Nintendo should release a new Ice Climbers. That could be fun. That could be really interesting too. And I don't know exactly what they would do with that. But it could be a really fun little, tiny story-based game. It's kind of a little bit of a niche concept, but there are a lot of games out there these days with super niche concepts, and they're fantastic. There's a lot of them that are fantastic. So you can take one little concept and go a long ways with it. So yeah, good stuff. Oh, good water as well. Well, I want to go ahead and actually start drawing things to a close here. I do appreciate you guys for being here and chatting with me. We can continue this in the Discord. I'm getting my phone up so I can type in chat. Be sure to join if you haven't already. And of course, if you are a mod, VIP, or a sub, you do get to vote in the poll for the stream on Saturday. So far, again, it's looking like it's going to be either Mario Galaxy, or actually it's going to be both and Mario Galaxy and Pokemon Legends Arceus, but we do have a couple of other options. So take your pick. I want to know. I want to hear you guys' voices and opinions on the matters. And yeah, also keep an eye out. If you are not a mod, VIP, or a sub, we do have other polls that are going to be going up for the community challenges, and now Trombone Champ just might be one of those community challenges. I'm gonna have to go back and look just to see what I put there today. I think Retro Games was one of them. Adult Swim was definitely one of them. I can't think of the last one. I think it was something that we're definitely going to be a fan of. But yeah, let me look here real quick. I do want to go ahead and raid someone. I'm going to have to... who is out there, though? Who's live? And, of course, if anyone has any suggestions, feel free to let me know. Also, apologies for the hand in the camera. Yeah, this is a touch screen laptop, so that's what we're doing. We're doing the touch screen. So I am looking through my people who I follow, and I think we probably raid Jade. There's a new person that I recently followed, but I probably want to spend a little more time with them before we jump in and raid them. I'll go say hi, of course, but we're going to go ahead and raid our good friend Jade live. He is doing some blueprints today. He was also streaming with one of his friends earlier today, so be sure to ask him about that. And follow that other person as well. It was Bruda de 4, the Roman numeral 4. I don't know how exactly to express that, but yeah, I really appreciate you guys for being here. And we are going to be back on... Hello. We're going to be back on Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Central Time. I might actually start early if I can manage it. I kind of want to get a little bit of Animal Crossing in, and that sounds like fun. Downloaded Blueprints last night. Well, hey, here you go. Jade's a great guy. He is a fantastic streamer, super fun to hang out with. So I do recommend you guys hitting the follow button there and hanging out with him for just a little bit. And seeing, of course, iBlueWave, how you like the game. So, anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate you guys once again, and I will see you later. Bye! We're not starting soon. I'm a fool. That's a little better. Thanks for watching, everybody. Adios.
Yo, Atomic, hello. Atomic, how was the stream? Hello, thanks so much for the raid, appreciate you. Hi. Those are just chatting. You have a good time? I made you do